With 7 championships in 9 years, the 27-year-old Kobe, who had feasted on the Eastern Conference's lack of competition, and the 34-year-old James, who was trapped in the brutal Western Conference grind, both found themselves lost in the summer of 2012. After swapping careers, their trajectories underwent earth-shattering changes. James' confusion stemmed from his inability to find a way out of the West. Every day he woke up to face either the Spurs or the Mavericks. And now the young, limitless Thunder, making it a truly miserable experience. As for Kobe's confusion, it was about genuinely not knowing how to lose. In the weak East, every day he played either the Bobcats, the Wizards, or the Raptors. Whether in the regular season or the playoffs, his team seemed almost unbeatable. To make matters worse, Riley, much like Gilbert once did, spoiled Kobe endlessly. During the 2012 offseason, the Heat, while retaining their core lineup, brought in Allen, a superstar from the Celtics, elevating their roster to an epic level of strength. On the other hand, the Lakers' moves were like those of a clueless fool who knows nothing about basketball, overcorrecting with reckless patchwork. James was already showing signs of aging, yet the Lakers not only kept the aging Gasol, but also brought back World Peace, whom James himself had traded the previous season. They then added Jamison, a 36-year-old veteran forward who could barely run anymore, followed by the injury-riddled, ball-dominant 38-year-old Nash, and the even more clownish Howard, who lacked a three-point shot, hated setting picks, and only smirked his way through games, worse than O'Neal ever was. The most baffling part: to coach this group of old, weak, and injured players, the Lakers hired D'Antoni, a coach known only for relentless run and gun offense. By the end of the season, James couldn't help but miss that so-called Zen master, Jackson, with all his mystique. After all, finishing 8th in the West meant facing the Thunder's dynamic duo in the first round, which wasn't much better than missing the playoffs entirely. Even the Heat, who dominated the league, were swept by the Thunder in the regular season. Otherwise, the Heat would have been the only team in NBA history to lose just one game. Of course, if Kobe hadn't been injured and missed games, the Heat would never have lost to Love's Timberwolves. Fortunately, despite the Lakers' disappointing record, James' individual performance remained at the top of the league. He outperformed veterans and newcomers alike, such as Duncan, Durant, and Davis, earning a spot on the All-NBA first team alongside MVP Kobe and Westbrook. Unfortunately, this season, he was rarely left out of the all-defensive team, and more critically, the Lakers' perimeter defender, World Peace, was plagued by long-term back injuries. The veteran Nash also had to miss the playoff opener due to a pulled back. The Lakers thus fell into a desperate resistance, struggling to cope with the relentless attacks of Durant and Westbrook. The backcourt duo of Jody Meeks and Steve Blake essentially became an ATM for Westbrook, as he could blow past them with just one explosive step, driving into the paint unchallenged. Meanwhile, the Lakers' offense seemed entirely dependent on luck. Aside from LeBron James, who provided high-quality output, every other player appeared to be fighting for every tough basket. As a result, they played the entire game without any semblance of structure, failing to execute a cohesive offensive system while being completely unable to contain the Thunder's transition game. In fact, the Thunder looked far more like a run-and-gun team. In an effort to make the Lakers' loss as respectable as possible, LeBron gave his all without holding anything back. With just over a minute remaining in the game, even though the Thunder had already emptied their bench, James remained on the court, fighting until the very last second. In this game, Dwight Howard went 6 for 20 from the field. Chris Duhon shot 1 for 3. Earl Clark went 0 for 3, and Meta World Peace was 0 for 7. With teammates like these, even Michael Jordan himself would have been powerless, especially considering that on the defensive end, they allowed Westbrook to put up an otherworldly 15 for 20 shooting performance. By Game 2 of the series, it was the same old story with the same familiar script. Westbrook remained unstoppable. Kevin Durant continued to get whatever he wanted. And of course, the Lakers once again had only LeBron's performance to hang their hats on. Paul Gasol was still as soft as ever. Dwight Howard still insisted on dominating only within his comfort zone under the basket. And the likes of Anton Jamison, Earl Clark, Jody Meeks, Jordan Hill, Chris Duhon, and Meta World Peace continued to put up abysmal performances. Thus, the Lakers' fate was essentially sealed. However, what was surprising was that this battered and broken Lakers team managed to hold out for a full 6 games. Even when James was ejected, they still found a way to take down the Thunder, which was truly commendable. This goes to show that earning genuine respect from others doesn't necessarily require taking shortcuts or forming super teams. Just look at the 76ers in the East. Even when facing a juggernaut like the Heat, they dared to rise to the challenge and managed to grind out a hard-fought victory, even though Kobe Bryant and Chris Bosh each only played 1 game. Compared to the 76ers, the Bucks were simply unlucky. In the second round, they ran into a fully healthy Heat squad and, unsurprisingly, were swept out of the playoffs. It wasn't until the Eastern Conference Finals that the Heat finally faced a worthy opponent, but with records of 79 wins and 53 wins, the gap in talent was clearly evident. From the very opening tip, Kobe and Dwyane Wade demonstrated their overwhelming dominance, completely outclassing their competition. They are like 2 tigers that have charged into a sheep pen, with such speed and destructive power that the Knicks players are left far behind. However, Kobe, Wade, Bosh, and Anthony have forged a deep friendship since the Dream Team BA days, and some social niceties had to be observed, so they kept the suspense of the final showdown alive until there was just over 1 minute left in the game. Can Melo successfully pull a tooth from the Tiger's mouth? Let's wait and see.
He makes the first one, giving them the lead. He knocks down both free throws, and the score difference is now 2 points.
What follows is undoubtedly a showdown of superstars. This game is incredibly exciting.
The moment the ball leaves his hand, the referee blows the whistle, and he gets 2 free throws. He makes the first free throw, and the gap is down to just 1 point. Nice, he hits both free throws.
You have to capitalize on free throw opportunities, or it could cost you the game.
Wade's shot misses, and Chandler grabs the rebound. His interior defense is still very strong.
Yes, he has grabbed a lot of rebounds tonight. His hustle on the boards is relentless. Now Anthony has the ball.
Chandler sets a screen and rolls to the basket for a layup.
Anthony, when he knows how to pass, becomes a much more dangerous offensive threat.
Now Wade has the ball. He pulls up for a jumper. No good. Chandler grabs another rebound.
The momentum is swinging toward the Knicks, and they need to extend their lead quickly. Anthony drives in aggressive penetration. A powerful scoring move.
Anthony truly lives up to his reputation as the new king of New York. Very tough. Batier is on the perimeter. Kobe, guarded by Kidd, is on the perimeter. 5 seconds left.
Birdman catches the alley-oop.
What a great pass that sets up his teammate for an alley-oop. Kobe's decision-making on this play is brilliant. Kidd passes the ball, and Batier comes up with a crucial steal. The Heat launch a full-court counterattack.
On such a critical possession at both ends, the Knicks make consecutive mistakes. They could pay a heavy price for this.
He misses his first free throw. This shot is so crucial. They really hope he makes it.
But he has another attempt. He makes it. He goes 1 for 2 from the line, and the gap is down to just 1 point. They intentionally foul. However, sending Anthony to the free throw line isn't exactly the best strategy right now.
He makes the first free throw. This gives him a 2-point lead. He goes 2 for 2 on this trip, and the score difference is now 3 points.
Very important free throws. This forces the opponent to shoot a three-pointer. Spoelstra calls a timeout. There is still time left. If there is an opportunity inside, they should go for a quick 2-pointer first, not rush into a 3.
On the perimeter, Kobe.
Wow, Kobe throws down a thunderous, powerful dunk. This is a play worth savoring.
Kobe's speed is just too fast. The Knicks are completely helpless.
Yes, now it is time to test Felton's free throws.
In this situation, whether Felton can make his free throws will determine the outcome of the game. If he misses a free throw, the Heat will have a chance to come back to life.
His first free throw is good. Thus, they lead by 2 points. The second free throw is missed. Oh, what a devastating blow. The ball reaches Wade's hands.
A teammate sets a screen. He shoots from beyond the three-point line. Bang! The three-pointer goes in. Unbelievable. Wade for 3. New York calls a timeout.
They can only hope to attempt a miracle. Buzzer-beating alley, Opup off the inbound pass.
After Wade's game-tying shot went in, the Knicks only had a theoretical 0.2 seconds left for a game-winning opportunity. Unfortunately, such a possibility was 1 in 10,000. In the end, Melo gave it his all but was outnumbered and could only bitterly accept the loss. The Heat, on the other hand, seemed to have only tested the waters. Their control over the game had already reached a state of effortless mastery. However, Smith, who was guarded by Kobe and made only 2 of 15 shots, stubbornly said, "I will bounce back strongly in the next game. I hope the Heat are ready." Thus, in Game 2, Wade and Kobe were like 2 blades drawn simultaneously, sometimes striking in turns, and sometimes combining to break through defenses. Both of them could drive and shoot, with their offensive methods ever-changing. Kobe's range even extended beyond the three-point line, making life miserable for the Knicks' backcourt. If they tried to stop the drive, they would be hit with jump shots. If they focused on defending the shot, they would be blown by instantly. Even if they successfully predicted their offensive choices, Felton and Kidd could only offer limited effective interference. Remember in last season's finals, Wade completely dismantled Kidd, and this year Kidd is a year older. So no longer caring about social niceties, the Heat simply crushed the Knicks. Watching Kobe and Wade each score over 30 points, Smith finally learned to keep a low profile, but it was too late. Kobe and Wade, with bloodshot eyes, couldn't stop their scoring spree. In Game 3, the duo combined for another 30-plus points each, leading the team to a 26-point blowout over New York. In Game 4, they still left the Knicks not even a sliver of hope for a comeback. Even though role players like Chalmers didn't step up, making only 1 of 14 shots, Kobe and Wade still managed to force a win. Such overwhelming dominance reminded the Western powerhouse Spurs of the long-standing fear of being dominated by Kobe. Even the steady Duncan felt a sense of unease before Game 1. And Kobe and Wade did not disappoint the Spurs and Duncan. As soon as the game started, the duo quickly launched an onslaught. Almost every one of their offensive plays was a completely different choice. Drawing fouls, scoop shots, layups, or dunks. The variety of moves left the Spurs defense overwhelmed. They simply couldn't figure out from which angle or in what manner the Heat's next attack would come at the basket. What made the Spurs most desperate was the Heat's suffocating backcourt defense. Many believe inside players have a greater defensive impact than perimeter players, but Wade, Kobe, and Battier redefined the influence of perimeter defense with their most stifling defensive pressure, throwing the Spurs' offensive sets into chaos from the very initiation, with almost no play execution able to be completed smoothly. Green and Leonard, whom the Spurs originally relied on to counter Kobe and Wade, were not significantly better than defensive specialists from other teams. They could only watch helplessly as Wade and Kobe attacked in various ways, combining drives and shots, while their own team had neither the means to defend nor the ability to fight back, returning to San Antonio with a 0-2 deficit in despair. Yet, even with home court advantage, the gap in talent remained as vast as a chasm, and they were swept out of the playoffs by the Heat in utterly humiliating fashion. It seems that while the West's floor is high, its ceiling remains severely limited, a flaw that will persist in the short term because Kobe had yet to fully unleash his offensive firepower. After all, the Heat's roster was so outrageously strong that Kobe never even had the chance to go all out and showcase his full capabilities. Moreover, due to Riley's excessive indulgence, this kind of blissful dilemma would continue into the 13-14 season. The Heat, whose roster improved rather than declined, not only retained their championship core, but also added the former All-Star veteran Stackhouse. Such an unabashedly excessive level of roster reinforcement always makes one can't help but think of James with pity. In the summer of 2013, the Lakers, like a broken pot thrown to the ground, carried out a series of extremely amateurish moves. They failed to trade away the aging Nash, let Howard walk for nothing, and then brought in a group of role players who were no better than a bunch of cats and dogs. This undoubtedly completely buried James's dreams of chasing MVP and a championship. He could only watch helplessly as Kobe's team performance declined, yet Kobe still won the MVP trophy. Even more egregiously, Kobe was also named Defensive Player of the Year, but clearly, these awards were only because he was on a better team. Otherwise, with James' dominant stats, if he also had a first-team All-NBA and first-team All-Defensive teammate like Wade, why would he have to settle for second-team All-NBA, and how could the Lakers be ranked only 11th in the Western Conference? Such an unfairly competitive environment drove James absolutely crazy. To this end, he once bitterly denounced the Heat for ruining basketball in front of the media, but upon second thought it was indeed true, because once a team faced the Heat in the playoffs, their hope was never to defeat them, but merely to avoid being swept. However, no matter how invincible a team is, it always fears one thing: injuries. In Game 4 between the Heat and the Nets, Bosh severely sprained his right foot, ending his season entirely. This undoubtedly posed a huge challenge for Kobe and Wade. Fortunately, the Heat's bench depth was extremely strong, and the Heat themselves had an overflow of offensive firepower. After Bosh's injury, although the Heat lost their unstoppable destructive force, they still managed to rattle off 24-1 series victories, reaching the NBA Finals for the fourth consecutive year. However, facing the Spurs again, the roster strength of both sides showed a noticeable shift. Besides Bosh being out for the season, Wade also sprained his ankle in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Therefore, the only matchup where the Heat held a clear advantage was Kobe's shooting guard position. Of course, the four-year brotherhood was coming to an end, and neither Wade nor Kobe wanted to leave any regrets. So, despite being injured, Wade stood firmly alongside Kobe as he had for the past 3 years. The two attacked separately, charging straight at the Spurs' various defensive strongholds. Their powerful offense even made the Spurs momentarily suspect that Wade had activated some kind of smart injury management. Throughout the entire game, they were completely suppressed, and over the 4 quarters, they only managed to outplay the Heat briefly in the 3rd quarter. For the Spurs, how to defeat the Heat had truly become a monumental problem, to the point where they still played extremely passively in Games 2 and 3. If they focused their defensive efforts on Kobe, Wade would immediately blow past the Spurs' back line. If they tilted their defensive focus toward Wade, then the Spurs simply couldn't withstand the all-around bombardment from Kobe. Because since 2006, they had never been able to figure out exactly how to defend to limit Kobe's vast array of skills. Unable to do anything about it, they had to regularly arrange for Duncan to help defend on the perimeter. Little did they expect that Birdman and Haslam had transformed into the fiercest basket bombers, feasting on lobs from Wade and Kobe, leaving them overjoyed. Moreover, aside from their impenetrable defense, the Spurs' most fatal issue had always been their inability to break through Wade and Kobe's ironclad perimeter defense, which severely disrupted the Spurs' scoring rhythm and heavily suppressed their scoring output. After just 4 games, the Spurs once again became the backdrop for the Heat's coronation, while Kobe capped off his 4-year Heat tenure with a perfect farewell. In 4 years, they won 4 consecutive championships, and no one was prouder than Heat President Riley, as his envisioned vision had been perfectly realized. In return, Riley showed the same sincere respect as he did 4 years ago. Many say Riley is cold-blooded, ruthless, and calculating, but during his 4-year collaboration with Kobe, he was deeply impressed by Kobe's high level of professionalism and treated him with great courtesy. Thus, these two kings from different domains felt a mutual admiration instead. In reality, Riley, long known for his shrewdness, could have fully leveraged Kobe's trade value through a sign and trade to maximize the Heat's benefits. However, out of the utmost respect for the king, they not only gave Kobe the right to choose his team freely, but also, on the night Kobe received his 4th championship ring with the Heat, raised the dual-colored Splice number 8 jersey promised 4 years ago, half in Heat colors, half in Cavaliers colors. Over these 4 years, everyone fulfilled their promises with actions. So next, as Kobe prepares to return to Cleveland, can he finally deliver on his vow with Gilbert that extends beyond 7 championships? My friends, to know what happens next, stay tuned for the next chapter.